Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Irita and this is where I tell you about my journey going through 12-week program, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. This was my second week and I'm gonna give you some feedback, what went well and where I struggled. So let's dive into it. I have made a lot of comments, so this time I came prepared. First things first, morning pages. I did them every day, but there's always but. Well, there's always something imperfect. So I realized that I struggle to do them whole 3 pages, especially in the morning when you have to rush to work. So even on days when I wake up very early, like around 5 a.m., I go to gym. After gym, I come home, I eat breakfast, I drink coffee. Of course, there is some scrolling, social media, and that is why when I decide to finally sit down and write, before I go to work, I leave myself not enough time, usually around 10 minutes, when I feel like I have to run to work. So I feel that that's my problem, that's my poor time management, and I know that filling 3 pages doesn't require a lot of time. Usually it is more than 10 minutes, but something like around 20 minutes. I hope to improve this next week. This is one thing that I am working on. Artist date. I didn't had anything very special planned. I think I already have a lot of good habits. I practice quite a lot of things that benefit me well and nourishes me, and I've chosen them very carefully to treat myself well. But during this program for my artist date, I always try to do something that is unusual for my daily life. This week I spent an hour writing poetry. That's my childhood passion. I used to really enjoy rhyming and just writing about deeper emotions. Poetry is the nicest way of doing that, and sometimes even rhymes take you to some interesting places. So writing poetry, I find it fun, interesting, but it is very it's consuming a lot of mental power, so you have to be really engaged in it, and I struggle to focus for so intensely very often. So 1 hour, I enjoyed it a lot. I hope to practice poetry, writing poetry more often from now on. Yeah, actually that's been one of the things I've been thinking about for some time. Especially this week I have to submit my final assignment for my university this year, and starting from June I'll have more spare time. I hope to write poetry more often. So enjoyed it a lot. Next, we are going to talk about themes of this week. Sense of identity. Firstly, this week made me think about people who surround me. As well, as I mentioned in my previous videos, this is not the first time I'm doing this program, so I already have learned my lesson of paying attention how every person makes me feel, how they influence me. Do they inspire me, or do they trigger me, or belittle me? As I said in previous video, there are still times when I notice some new attitudes appearing, and but by this time I think I'm already very good at being aware what I'm choosing. I think I have lost a lot of very close friendships when you're disappearing in each other, and this very big connection with friends that we used to have in teenage years. I think I've lost that. I kind of miss it a little bit, but then I've gained a lot of freedom by setting a lot of borders and choosing when to talk to whom and how much time I give to communication. There is one category of people that I cannot choose. Those are my clients. 99% of them, I must say, are wonderful, and they know it. We've had beautiful connections, and very often, most of the times, I would say, our photo shoots are very sweet, and we develop very close and beautiful relationships there. But sometimes it doesn't stick, and that's totally fine, and not all people can fit well together, and before you met first time you don't know that. So sometimes I meet people when our energies don't match. I did touch on that on my previous video. So this week I did a lot of reflection on them clients who end up somehow unhappy about my work. And this week, reading my book and going through this theme again, I realized that those people who criticize my work usually have mentioned that they themselves would like to do something creative, that they admire that I do photography, and they admire my work before they had their own photos. And I think they have their own vision of how they would like their photos to look like, and they themselves are creative and would like to do this work, but for some reasons they don't allow themselves, so they are blocked artists. And when they receive my work, they think, oh, I would have done it differently, because they have an opinion. They could use their ideas and create their own art, but instead of that, they wanted me to make their art. But that's the difference. They have to trust me and whatever I create, and my understanding of art, and that's very hard for them because they're blocked artists. I really felt it very deeply, and it helps me a lot, because I think it will help me in the future to deal with them in a more positive way, and trying to be kinder and nicer to them when I receive critique, trying to encourage them to create art themselves. I just need to find a way that doesn't sound very toxic or passive aggressive. So yes, I really like this thought. And another thing I realized about myself, that I used to look at other vloggers on YouTube, and think to myself that, oh, that looks so easy, everybody could do that, I could do that as good as they can, only if I did it. But because I don't do it, for some reason or another, so deeply inside I wanted to do it, but I didn't, because I was shy, I was blocked, I was scared. I am all of those things. I could say I am, but it's very easy to critique someone. And now when I'm doing it, I realize it's not easy. It is hard. It is weird, and yes, very different to what I thought it will be. It looks very easy when professionals do that. They make it look easy, and that's why it's a good job. I think that's a sign of professional artist, when anything they do looks easy, like dancers or painters, potters, if what they do looks easy, it means they've put hundreds of hours of work into it. So as well, so if you ever look at my videos or my photography and you think to yourself, oh, that's rubbish, I would do it better, I highly suggest do it. You're either gonna do it better than me, which is good, and you're gonna have some success, and I wish you all the luck, or you're gonna realize that you were wrong and that it's not that easy. And this gives me a lot of courage now to come in front of camera and speak more. I'm very happy I'm back here filming my third video. Wow, that's quite cool. I'm proud of myself. Yes, and the final thing I'd like to touch on is paying attention. That's a very beautiful reminder to myself. I'm trying to remind me like many times a day to be in a moment, especially when those toxic thoughts come up, when some negativity, some critical thinking, toxic thinking, all of those things. When I start to feel those, this heaviness in your chest, that's the moment when you have to remember to relax, take a few deep breaths, and just look at what's surrounding you. And that helps greatly. So paying attention, beautiful thought. Need to remind yourself, maybe setting alarm every half an hour that reminds you, pay attention. So I think that will be everything from me today. I have a lot to do. I hope next week's I'll have more time to make longer videos, but for now I have to run. So I wish you all a beautiful week, and I'll talk to you next time.